Hello and welcome to Lore of the Storm, the series that looks to uncover the lore behind your favourite champions in Heroes of the Storm. Last time we covered 2 StarCraft heroes, and this time we're moving on to the Diablo universe to take a look at Azmodan, the Lord of Sin. Azmodan shares his beginnings with the other 6 Lords of Hell. Before everything began, there existed just a small, perfect pearl. Within dwelt the crystalline being, Anu, all things good, all things evil. Anu considered itself within its eternal dream state, and eventually sought total purity. To do this, Anu cast all evil from its form, but the concepts of rage, pridefulness, and deception did not just vanish. These negative aspects merged together to become a hideous amalgamation, the prime evil, Tuthomet, the 7-headed dragon. With Tuthomet's arrival, a battle was fought between the 2 beings, good versus evil. After many ages of fighting, the 2 exhausted beings readied their final blows. When they struck, both Anu and Tuthomet, as well as the pearl that hosted their conflict, were utterly annihilated. The destruction spawned the Diablo universe we know today, with the remnants of Anu's corpse forming the high heavens and giving birth to the angels, and Tuthomet's corpse morphing into the burning hells. It is said that the 7 Lords of Hell were birthed from Tuthomet's 7 severed heads. The 3 most powerful Lords of Hell became known as the Prime Evils: Diablo, Mephisto, and Baal. The other 4 are known as the Lesser Evils, though their power is still immense: Duriel, Andariel, Belial, and Azmodan. Each Lord of Hell is titled after the evil force they most embody: terror, destruction, hatred, pain, anguish, lies. Azmodan is the Lord of Sin, regarded as the most charismatic and seductive of all the Lords of Hell, and as the most manipulative Lord of Hell achieves his aims through vice and corruption. The Lord of Sin takes pleasure in almost everything, as long as it is taken to its utter extreme, where pain and pleasure become one in the same. He indulges in vice of all forms, but gets his greatest sense of gratification from watching others fail, especially when he is the cause of that failure. Through temptation, Azmodan is able to change the most stalwart individuals, those who treasure their beliefs, to betray them. Azmodan has an uncanny ability to see what a person's heart desires, and exploit it for his own gains. He delights in making others completely shed their morality, giving themselves over to sin, and watching as they reach their breaking point. As well as being a depraved individual, Azmodan is a poisonous philosopher. He believes all beings find their truest identity by reaching their utter limits of perversion and depravity. A philosophy that holds truth, as when you no longer feel shame in your depravity, you are not restricted by social conventions. Each Lord's domain within the burning hells is different, their land a physical representation of their title. Azmodan's is the most densely populated, warped by sin. Great joy, despair, perversion and indulgence are found within, creating a realm rife with sin. It was rumoured Azmodan's realm did not initially appear corrupt to those venturing within. In fact, it was inviting and seductive, welcoming those that entered. As the individual ventures further into his realm, its true nature reveals itself. The traveller finds themselves reaching a state of revulsion, all life's pleasures being sated. This further transforms into madness, no hope for the now ensnared victim to redeem their rotted soul. The Herodric researcher Deckard Cain wrote, "We are a race of joy and nurturing that is tainted and tempted by sin. But rare is the human who sets out to commit sin. Sin is a web we are drawn into." A very apt description for Azmodan's nature. With heaven and hell formed, the eternal conflict began, both factions fighting over the World Stone. This was said to be the Eye of Anu, located at the universe's centre within the realm of Pandemonium, the scar created by Anu and Tuthomet's deaths. What this stone was capable of was unclear, but both angels and demons coveted its power. The Worldstone would change hands countless times. Eventually, sick of fighting, a faction of angels and demons worked together to escape, stealing away the Worldstone and creating the world of Sanctuary with its power. Here, they would hide from the conflict and eventually interbreed, creating what would become humanity. Despite the Worldstone being removed from the fray, the eternal conflict between angels and demons raged on. Eventually, the three prime evils discovered Sanctuary and sought ways of weaponizing humanity against the angels. Diablo, Mephisto and Baal could all sense the great power that lay dormant within the race. The primes would become consumed with their mission to convert humanity into a force of evil, a lengthy mission that began to strain relations within the burning hells. What happened next is only theorized, as humanity cannot truly know what happened within the hells at this point. Civil war broke out between the prime and lesser evils. The lesser evils felt that the primes had abandoned the eternal conflict in their personal goal to convert humanity, a mission that the lesser evils saw as a waste of time, because they believed that demonkind was inherently superior to humanity. They also believed that the war against the high heavens was theirs alone to fight. Azmodan was the first lesser evil to defy the primes, though he would keep his involvement a secret. Close followers of the Lord of Sin performed acts the Lord could or would not involve himself with. However, the attempt to wrest any power from the primes failed, and in his rage, Diablo transformed Azmodan's followers into the wretched fallen ones. Blaming these now weak demons for the primes' continued dominance, Azmodan did nothing to restore them to their true forms, delighting in their now pathetic existence, though this did inform Azmodan's tactics for his later rebellion. Aided by Belial, the Lord of Lies, Azmodan was able to convince Duriel and Andariel to join them, and devised a brilliant strategy for the lesser evils to conquer the primes. While the primes as individuals were more powerful, they were not powerful enough to stand against all four of the lesser evils. The primes did not go down without a fight, destroying a third of the Burning Hell's population in their stand against the lessers, but nevertheless defeated. It is likely due to this victory that Azmodan is touted as the greatest tactical mind within the Burning Hells. The prime evils were banished from the Burning Hells, and the ever forward-thinking Azmodan knew exactly where they should be banished to. Their now bodiless spirits were banished to the mortal realm of Sanctuary, where Azmodan hoped they would remain trapped forever. Azmodan also theorized this would split the High Heavens' attention, distracted about what may happen on Sanctuary, allowing the demons to drive home an advantage. This overthrowing of the prime evils became known as the Dark Exile. There are two rumoured possibilities to what happened after the lesser evils' victory. Some say the relations between Azmodan and Belial quickly soured, the two arguing over how the prime's territory should be divided between them, and who should ascend to the highest rank within the Burning Hells. This bickering allegedly turned to violence and sparked another bloody civil war within the Burning Hells. The other theory is that Azmodan and Belial did not fall out, but began to plot how they could also conquer Sanctuary to subjugate all life to their will. In truth, the two did war, right up until the event known as the Darkening of Tristram, when the primes began to wreak havoc on Sanctuary. Azmodan was said to be winning the war, so it was lucky for Belial that the two demons ended up sharing the same goal: subjugating humanity. After Belial's failed attempt to conquer Sanctuary, which ended with his essence being absorbed by an artifact called the Black Soulstone, Azmodan launched his bid to claim humanity. Unlike Belial, who sought to rule through lies and deception, Azmodan announced his arrival. At this point, he was the last remaining Lord of Hell. Bristling with confidence, he appeared in a vision before Leah, the adopted niece of the now deceased Deckard Cain, who picked up where her uncle left off, using his knowledge to help stand against the demons.
demons will find the stone, wherever you choose to hide it. Then, at long last, Azmodan shall reign as the prime evil.
Azmodan's vast army, the greatest gathering of demons seen on Sanctuary, emerged from the Ariat crater and attacked Bastion Keep. The keep was said to be impenetrable, but Azmodan's massive army of sin neared victory in little over a week. The demons' confidence grew, and they slowed their siege, allowing themselves time to feast on the corpses of those they had slain. Uncharacteristically, rather than let his minions wallow in their sin, Azmodan ordered the final attack on Bastion Keep. It was during this assault that Leah, a now mortal Tyrael, and the Nephilim arrived. The Nephilim were the first children of the angels and demons of Sanctuary, but fearing their progeny, the Immortals restricted their powers using the World Stone. Later, the World Stone was destroyed, and the Nephilim's power began to awaken in humanity again. With help from the Nephilim, Bastion Keep was able to regain some control. The Nephilim fought through swarms of demons assaulting the walls and helped the Keep soldiers man their catapults, allowing them to make a severe dent in the demons' lines. Projecting an image of himself to the Nephilim, Azmodan mocked their minor victory, revealing that one of his 7 Sin lieutenants had broken through into the depths of Bastion Keep, and his armies would now consume them from beneath. Azmodan revealed his hand too early, and armed with this intelligence, the Nephilim ventured into the lower levels of Bastion Keep and faced off with Gom. The Lord of Gluttony was the largest of Azmodan's Sin lieutenants, his 4 mouths capable of swallowing angels whole. Gom used his greed as a weapon, vomiting corrosive bile over the Nephilim and excreting gases so pungent it choked them. Though a truly disgusting demon, Gom was defeated, the volatile gases within his body causing the dead demon's stomach to burst open and spill his innards on the floor. With Gom defeated, the Nephilim and their allies were able to push the demons back to Ariat Crater, destroying Azmodan's siege weaponry in the process. The Nephilim defeated the siege demon that stood before them and entered Ariat Crater. The realm looked at first as one would expect hell to look. Alight with fire, the air thick with noxious smoke, and inhabited by a huge number of demons. The further the Nephilim travelled down into the crater, the Lord of Sin's influence became clear, and a more imposing vista lay before them. It became a realm of giant obsidian structures. Gargantuan demons were bound, blindfolded, and reeling in anguish. Demons that we see in the Diablo-themed Heroes of the Storm maps. The suffering of these flayed demons fed the favourite of Azmodan's Sin lieutenants, Zidea, the Maiden of Lust, who was also Azmodan's consort. Zidea sought to defend the Sin Hearts located within the crater, which empowered Azmodan's forces. When the Maiden of Lust's succubi children failed to stop a Sin Heart's destruction, Zidea looked to defend the very last personally. Spinning silk to deadly effect and summoning hosts of spiders were not enough, and Zidea fell to the Nephilim. This left only Azmodan, the Lord of Sin, revealed his plan for the Black Soulstone. He would embed the Soulstone, which now held the essence of every Lord of Hell, into his flesh, absorb their power into his body, and become the one and only Lord of Hell, the prime evil. Looking at Azmodan's Diablo 3 encounter, we see where a lot of his abilities in Heroes of the Storm came from. Azmodan would summon highly explosive balls of energies to launch at the Nephilim, his Q ability in Heroes of the Storm. Periodically, Azmodan would summon several demonic portals while fighting the Nephilim to allow his demonic minions to assist the fray, much like his W in Heroes. If the Nephilim was too far away to reach, Azmodan would fire an eye laser at them, similar to his E ability. Both Azmodan's ultimates appear to be variations on his other abilities. Demonic Army creates a rain of demons, whereas in Diablo 3 Azmodan would make corpses rain from the sky. This ultimate seems to blend Azmodan's corpse rain ability with his ability to summon minions in large quantities. The black pools in Azmodan's Diablo 3 encounter served a different purpose than they do in Heroes. In Diablo 3 they were larger and would damage his enemy, rather than bolster his and his minions' powers. Azmodan was defeated, and his essence too was absorbed into the Black Soulstone. With all the Lords of Hell sealed away, the Nephilim and their allies were betrayed by Leah's mother, Adria. Leah was the spawn of Diablo, and through her he re-manifested and absorbed the essence of the other Lords of Hell trapped within the Black Soulstone to become the prime evil. This shines a whole new light on Azmodan's cutscene. He's not talking to Leah, he's talking to Diablo. Diablo set about destroying the high heavens, but was defeated by the Nephilim. The Black Soulstone was then used by the angel Malthael to assault Sanctuary. He too was defeated, but he shattered the Soulstone and absorbed its power. Upon the death of Malthael, Diablo was released again into the world, Azmodan's essence still bound to the prime evil. So, there you have it, the lore surrounding the Lord of Sin, Azmodan. I really hope you enjoyed this episode. All the artists I could find are linked in the description below. If, like me, you like to indulge in a little sin every now and then, help a fellow sinner out by hitting the like button, subscribing and sharing this sinful trash around. Of course, if you're a little goody-goody, you could always dislike the video, you loser. I've been struggling with who to do next from Diablo, as there are requests for several of the heroes, so I'm holding a little poll between Li Ming, Zul, Sonya and Johanna, who you can vote for in the comments and the poll that you can find in the description. Until next time guys, I hope to see you in the Nexus.